Okay, so you want to start a business. Well, you've come to the right place, and you don't have to be an expert to be here. For something so common like setting up a business, you would think it's kind of easy, like it'd be like a click of the button kind of thing, but no, it is actually very complicated and very annoying to set up your own business or your LLC. Whatever legal formation, I'm gonna be real with you, it's a lot of work. And as you guys know on this channel, I'm on a quest for us to get to our dream life, like not just me, like both of us, we're doing this together. And a big part of having that lifestyle freedom is having your own streams of income, like the ones that you actually own. And what is smart to house those streams of income? A business, a legal business. And a business doesn't have to mean a typical Silicon Valley tech startup. It could literally be just content creation, or you selling digital products, or you having your own side hustle, or freelancing your services and your skills. And it's really smart to have a legal entity to house all that that's not attached to you as a person. Plus you get to write things off, so why not? We're going into the new year reaching our goals and not procrastinating, so we're no longer procrastinating on starting our business. I'm embarrassed to say it literally took me 2 years for a process that took like 2 weeks because I was simply putting it off. And honestly with good reason, because the information is so dispersed, you have to look up everything individually. Like I just got lucky finding an article that put all the steps in there for you, but still I had to do every step individually on a different website with a different template, with a different thing. And honestly, this legal stuff puts me to sleep. So it was a long process to wrap my head around. That's why I'm making this video for you, so you don't have to do that. You get all of the steps in one cute little video, and better yet, you get everything in one simple platform, which I'll share with you today because I know how it feels to be confused, and I don't want you to be confused. In the past, I've made several videos on this very topic because it's so lengthy and confusing. And even at that was just for one state because I live in Texas. I only know the Texas process, but today I'm going to break down a process you can do anywhere in the US. Taylor Brands, the sponsor of today's video, was smart enough to put all of these steps in one simple platform and dashboard that you can use all day, every day to set up everything for your business, not just your LLC, but like literally your logo, your business banking account, your taxes, your accounting, your website domain, trademarking, licenses. Did I already say websites? They have like a laundry list of services, and all of it is super user friendly. So who is Taylor Brands? If you've never heard of them, they are a business builder that has everything you need to manage, start, and grow your business. They provide personalized and customized guided experiences that explains how to build a successful business. I really wish I found them prior to starting my LLC, because if I had done it through Taylor Brands, all of my stuff would have been neatly organized, all in one dashboard. I could just click into everything to find things. They would remind me about everything I need to do. Like, I genuinely feel like if you're starting a business, it's sometimes worth it to pay other people to do things for you, because it just takes the mental load of what you have to do so you can focus on doing what you do best. And as a beginner, it actually teaches you the process instead of you just paying someone and not knowing what's going on. But lucky for you, it still can be this easy because I have a link for you down below. So make sure you head to the description so you can do this along with me or start your own process to finally start your LLC and get out of that corporate dread and move to having your own time freedom. So to break it down, what we're going to cover in today's video is a full walkthrough of the LLC process, which is choosing your state, choosing your LLC name, filing for your articles of organization, so essentially filing for your LLC, choosing your registered agent, which I'll get to more later, creating the operating agreement that you need to run your LLC, applying for your EIN number, which is essentially like a social security number but for your business, and then complying with tax requirements, because boy, are there a lot of tax requirements for a business and it's super confusing. And we're also going to cover some fun features in the Taylor Brands platform. These are features I personally think every entrepreneur or business owner should have set up in the beginning of their business, such as a domain, a business email, a logo, and setting up a bank account so your business transactions are separate from your personal transactions. And if you're new here, my name is Iffy. I'm 27. I live in Dallas, Texas, and I make content here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, honestly, all the platforms on how to create your dream life from scratch. This is a quest that I'm personally on to be a full-time content creator and entrepreneur. And I personally believe it's possible for all of us. Whatever you believe to be true, these are going to be the practical tools and tips that you'll use to get there. And I want to break it down in this series that I call the Behind the Dreams on exactly how I do that and how you can do it too. Don't forget to subscribe, get out your pen and paper, or follow along on the Taylor Brands website using the link below, and let's get into it. All right, before we start, you might be thinking to yourself, what is an actual LLC? Like, what does that mean? What is it about? Why do people choose it? Why do I need it? And if you're feeling any sort of embarrassment around this, please don't, because this stuff is not explained, and not explained well or very clearly. So I'm going to break it down for you today so you know exactly what you're getting into. So an LLC stands for a limited liability company. So it literally means just that. You have limited liability when it comes to your company and legally. It's a business structure regulated at the state level, and it combines the liability protection of a a corporation, and the tax flexibility of sole proprietorship or a partnership. So basically the owners or members of the LLC are not legally liable for the debts or legal obligations. So that way when you're working with your business, when it comes to the government or issues or disputes, the business is going through the process and not you and your personal assets. You can run it alone as a single member LLC, or you can have multiple people in your LLC as a multi-member LLC. So translated for my girlies, it protects you from being sued personally. There are tax benefits, i.e. like writing things off, tracking all your expenses, getting benefits through your taxes that way. And then energetically, you just feel more legit. I swear, like the moment I got it, I was like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur now. All right, so do you actually need one? That ultimately is up to you. And I think after this video, you'll have a really good idea if you need one or not. But I will say, anyone starting a business, doing any kind of transactional relationships with services, with money, without limited liability, should consider getting one. You can use an LLC structure for a lot of types of businesses, which is why a lot of people choose it. I'll put here a list of benefits, but the list can go on in terms of how many advantages there are to starting an LLC. I highly recommend it for new entrepreneurs who are making decisions and who don't have everything figured out yet. And there's certain things that you literally cannot do if you do not have one. So setting up a business bank account because you need your EIN, which you get through the LLC process, buying product, buying inventory. So just having the paperwork makes it a lot easier. And this naturally poses the questions like, what are the other types of structures? You can look more into this on the Taylor Brands websites because they have breakdowns on literally everything when it comes to LLCs and other types of businesses. How do you set one up and how much does it cost? This can depend on different avenues that you choose. You can do it yourself, which is probably going to be the cheapest, but it's also the hardest, speaking from experience, to gather all the information, make sure you have everything. You can have a lawyer do it, which they'll probably do everything for you, but it's probably also going to cost a lot of money. This can end up being thousands of dollars just depending on who you choose. Or you can use an LLC formation service like Taylor Brands that kind of handles the process for you, so they make it super easy. And specifically Taylor Brands makes it super easy to set up. You don't even have to know a lot of the terminology. They break down everything for you, and it's usually just hundreds of dollars, and most of that is due to the state's fee. So I feel like this is the best bang for your buck because it's not too expensive. It's usually hundreds of dollars and it's really easy to form. We'll talk more about state filing fees, but they typically range anywhere from $10 to like $500. They also have a resource that tracks every state's prices if you want to look more into that, and I'll link that below as well. Keep in mind there could be additional industry, product, or location specific expenses that come up. And again, I just love that they have an article for literally everything. They've made blog posts explaining every question you could possibly have with your LLC. So if there's something that you don't find in this video, they probably have it in their website. And everything is explained in clear English, like you can actually understand it. I know, a concept. And by the end of this, you should be ready to go and like start your own LLC. So let's do it. All right, we have arrived at the desk and we're gonna do a full walkthrough together. So you'll first start with a questionnaire, which I really like because they make it super easy to go through the process without actually having to know all the steps, but they also break down the steps on the LLC formation website. All right, so I'm gonna set up a mock business with you guys to go through the entire process. And this is what I wish I would have done because it was so much easier. Like it's insane how fast you can set this up when the research process alone took me like days. So this is exactly what you're gonna see when you go onto the LLC formation website on Taylor Brands. You're gonna first start with selecting your state. So I'm just gonna type in Texas. You can put whatever state that you're actually residing in or you want to do business in. So I'm gonna press Texas and then I'm gonna press get started. And just a quick note, you can form your business in any state in the United States. I personally chose Texas, my home state, because I feel like this is a good base for me to get all my mail, my information, anything I need. You essentially just wanna set up your business in somewhere that you have pretty close access to, or you have somebody called a registered agent, which we'll talk about later, to collect all your documents for you. People do tend to set up LLCs in different states, one for kind of marking that name in other states as well, but also some states have lower setup costs, running costs, self-employment tax, and sales tax. The only catch here is that you need to have a physical address there. That could be through your registered agent's address, which I'll talk about later, so all your important information gets to the right place. And if you really want to be extra, like I will be very soon, and what most established businesses have is you want to trademark your LLC so that other people don't use it, whether this is a logo, whether this is a name. This allows you to reserve your LLC in different states, in all 50 states, because if your business grows and you want to have that reservation, that name reservation, logo reservation in other states as well, your trademark will cover that for you. The next thing you're going to want to do is choose a name. Now, this one got me because you need to make sure that your name is unique. So we're going to head back into the questionnaire and choose a name. And what I like about Taylor Brands is they make it really easy to make sure that your name is unique. So just for the sake of our thriving future next year, I'm going to name this one Thriving Business. We're going to go with Thriving Business, and then you're going to press check availability. And then it's a great choice because this is actually available. And I love how they make it look cute like that. So one thing you can do is also call your Secretary of State to really verify, but Taylor Brands kind of just handles this all for you, which I really love. Also, this doesn't have to be the client-facing name of your business. So for instance, my LLC is called Iowa Collection LLC because I knew I would have multiple businesses under this LLC, which can be documented as a DBA, which is a doing business as. It basically separates the different things you're doing business as under the LLC. But my company, Sans Raison, is more the front-facing name of my business. But I knew I was kind of experimenting with businesses, so I haven't filed each of them as a doing business as, but that's something I will be doing with Taylor Brands and trademarking Sans Raison, so I have that officially set up. So we're gonna press next, and it takes us to the section where it asks us what stage is Thriving Business currently in. We're really just beginning, and I feel like most of us as beginners are just having the idea, or we're just taking the first step. So we're gonna press just taking the first steps, but you can do this in any stage you're in, which I really love. When are you planning to launch Thriving Business? So they said there's no wrong answer here. I think this just gives them an idea of like what you need to do. And for us, we're not procrastinating. So we're gonna say as soon as possible. Then it asks some questions about your industry, which I find very helpful because it chooses all the things you would need for your industry. Like I mentioned before, you might need licenses and permits and things like that. This kind of tells you what you need in your package when you're creating your LLC. So for us, we're gonna put marketing because we're content creators and entrepreneurs. I do recommend new entrepreneurs start with services because it's easier to sell a skill you have, whether that's organization, whether that's social media, because physical goods is a whole other ballgame. But if that's what you know the best, feel free to choose that here. And then it asks us, are we planning to hire any employees in the coming year? This is another thing that affects your taxes and how you set up your accounting. But for the sake of ease and for the sake of most of us being one-person businesses, I'm gonna press not sure because maybe we need some contractors and freelancers later, but not now. And then we're gonna choose a postal code that we're operating from. I personally live in Dallas, Texas, so I'm gonna choose a Dallas zip code, but you can choose the one that you're operating from. And then it asks us where Thriving Business will serve its customers. I really like this because it has like e-commerce, content creator, online consultant, which I feel like is literally everything I've done and want to do. And I feel like that's a lot of you guys as well. So I'm gonna choose online. And I like that it has that specificity for people like me because I always feel like my business is not like the traditional business. So I'm gonna press next. Then it asks all the things you're planning to do for your business. And the cool thing is that they have services for literally everything, as you can see, for the LLC, for the logo, for the website, taxes, accounting, trademark, sales tax permit, which you need for physical goods. Like they literally have everything. So I'm gonna choose everything I needed, which is the website, definitely the taxes, accounting. I would say domain, EIN. We'll start with that. Also a logo. So we're gonna press next. And then here you can choose anything you already do have. I like that it tailors, literally like Taylor Brands, to whether you're experienced or if you're a beginner. If you had done any of these things, you can check them off here. And then how did we discover Taylor Brands? Through YouTube, of course. And why I say Taylor Brands does the extra mile and actually teaches you the process instead of just doing it for you. They literally have a free 12-week coaching program on this entire process, your taxes, compliance, digital marketing. Like they're here to help you thrive, like no pun intended. Of course, we're gonna join the program because it's free. Why not? And then here's where you can put in your login information or connect through Google. I'm gonna connect through Google because it's a lot easier. And then here you're gonna put in your first name, your last name, and a verified phone number. So just enter those details. And then here it asks you a series of questions that it recommends that you get for the certain type of business you're doing and based on what you said that you need. So we did say that we need help with opening a bank account, which you need an EIN to do. So what is an EIN number? What do you need that for? What does it do? How do you get one? EIN number is an employer identification number. You can think of this almost like your social security number, but it's for your business. This is how the IRS identifies your business and recognizes you as a business. It can also be called a federal tax identification number, and it's usually 9 digits long with a dash after the first 2 digits. And this is how the IRS identifies taxpayers who are required to file business tax returns. So this is where things become important because they're tracking what you're doing, and this is why the taxing and accounting stuff becomes important later. This is required when you're setting up a business bank account, which I highly suggest you have your personal and your business bank separate. It could be the same bank, just 2 different accounts. You also need this when you're hiring employees, contractors, doing payroll, and for any creditors. So if you need any loans or you're applying for anything, this number will come in handy. And you can do this on the IRS website, but it is very manual. Again, you have to know what everything means, and they don't really explain so much. It's a lot of researching while you're doing it. I did this personally by myself, and I literally had to have like a dictionary next to me. So this is why it's really cool that Taylor Brands offers this as a service. So you can choose here, help me get my EIN. It'll kind of do that process for you, and it's additional $99. But again, I would say this does take a couple hours to figure out if you don't have any experience doing it. So this could be a really good deal if you want to save time and you want to do it right. And here it asks you to assign your registered agent. Again, this is required for your LLC. You need a registered agent, somebody that could physically represent your business as a location, as a person. This registered agent really houses everything. This is how the government communicates with you. So what is a registered agent? They're an individual or a business entity that must be available during business hours to handle formal documents and your business. They're basically the person delegated to receive all of your legal paperwork, such as subpoenas, regulatory and tax notices, correspondence. So this person is receiving everything you're getting. So it's important that you trust this person. And that begs the question, this can be someone else? Great question. I had the same. This could be another member of your LLC. This could be you. This could be be a trusted friend. This could be a complete stranger. This could be a business that handles this service for you. So essentially you can employ a registered agent, and that's exactly what Taylor Brands would be. If you chose this option, they would handle this for you and get all of your paperwork. And I like how they do it because it's all digital, and I think you'll get everything quick through email, which is nice because working with the government, everything is through like birds and slow mail. So your registered agent is essentially the address for your business as well. So whatever their address is becomes your business address, and that has to be like legally available to the public. So people have access to that. So having it be a company is really nice because then it doesn't really matter. It's not your personal address. It's not an address of somebody you know. And it is important that you're in close proximity to this address because things like your franchise tax reports go to this address, which I got after I filed my LLC, and I'll talk about later. This is where your official formation letter comes to you. This is where your EIN number comes to you. So all of this information goes to this registered agent. You want to make sure this is a trusted individual or a trusted company. So for the sake of that, I will choose Taylor Brands for this. This is an extra $199. Even though this is sort of like a yearly fee, I think it's really nice to have a place, whether you move across the country, because no matter where you are, you're getting this going to the same address and to the same people. So for that reason, we're choosing Taylor Brands. Another big thing with setting up your LLC is the tax requirements and compliance. OMG. I am still learning. I'm still understanding it like 2 to 3 years in. And while we're on the topic of requirements and compliance, let's talk about some taxes and a little bit of what you need to know. I am not an accountant. I am not a financial advisor. So this is exactly why I encourage you to get one. And Taylor Brands does have this service available if you want to choose this. I highly recommend doing this, and it's something I'm actually going to start doing this year because I was trying to handle it all by myself. I do not recommend, and I'll tell you why. First and foremost, every LLC is going to get taxed. No matter what you do, you can't avoid it. There are these unavoidable taxes with setting up your business, and it's something you have to be on top of every single quarter and also year, depending on the tax that you have to pay and file, no matter if you're making income or not. And there are certain licenses and permits that you need to renew and get. So these are things that you want to look up before filing, depending on your business. I made the mistake of just filing my taxes yearly and adding my business taxes with that as well yearly, thinking I was on top of my stuff. And as I was doing my taxes on TurboTax, I realized that I got fined because I wasn't doing it quarterly like I was supposed to be doing it. And then when I started selling physical goods through my company, Sans Raison, I had to start filing for sales tax like every 2 to 3 months because it's a physical product. So you get taxed for inventory, so many different things. And to be able to sell physical products, I had to get a resale certificate or a reseller's permit to be able to buy items from companies and resell them. So there's so many little details, and you have to look up exactly what you need for your type of company. But again, Taylor Brands kind of handles that for you. As long as you put in the information, it'll tell you what you need, and you can get access to credible accountants that can help you decide what you need. But ultimately, it's your state that decides what licenses, permit, and tax filing that you need to do every single year or quarter. And taxes is a whole other beast, but Taylor Brands has this really helpful article that kind of walks through all the different things you can be taxed for and all the different taxes you need to keep track of filing every single year. I will say this for the last time, highly recommend an accountant, and I will be doing this myself because I can no longer do this DIY taxes thing. It's not working out. All right, so let's move on in our questionnaire. Of course, we want to keep our LLC compliant, so we'll do this. This is an extra $199. You can kind of professionally design your logos, your branding tools, your branding kit with Taylor Brands. That'll be an extra cost because that'll be in the elite plan, which we'll see a little bit later. But if you're somebody who lacks the design skills and you don't really want to focus on that, this could be a really good option. Also, Taylor Brands gives you the option to skip the line and get your filing done a lot faster. I know in Texas, it typically takes 13 to 15 days to get your files of organization set up, and sometimes it can take a lot longer. So if you want to have it expedited through Taylor Brands, if you need it immediately, you can get it filed in 2 days, which is like crazy. And they'll do a charge of $49, or you can wait 2 weeks. If you're not in a rush, you don't have to do this. Keep in mind, if you do need it expedited, just know that if you go through your Secretary of State, they're usually open at very specific times, and they're probably not open on weekends. So having something like this could be a really good option for you. The next thing it covers is the operating agreement, which is a big thing that I think a lot of people skip over because they literally just don't know that they need one. What is an operating agreement? While you don't need the physical document to create the LLC or start the LLC, it's really good and recommended to have one on file. This really will avoid any disputes or disagreements that happen within your company because everything is documented on how that company should be run. It records your LLC setup, the organizational structure, daily duties, and just general rules of your LLC. It's really good when you're looking for investors or you end up in court because of internal disagreements, which hopefully we don't get to that case. Like I mentioned earlier, you can have a single member LLC or you can have a multi-member LLC. You can create an operating agreement yourself. I personally just found a template online and used that, but I wasn't really sure what I was doing or how I was doing it. So this is probably something I'm going to do through Taylor Brands to refresh what I already have. And if you do it with Taylor Brands, it's just an extra $29. And what's really cute is you can order a formation kit. This actually puts all of these documents together for you. It's like an official aesthetic chic binder. It even has social media tips, a content planner, business to do. So like they really put a lot of things in here for you. And just so you know how the alternative looks like, it's a lousy folder, and I'm pretty sure I don't even have like everything in here. And some of it's online in my Google Drive, some of it's printed, so. And this might be the number one reason I wish I had done it through a platform like Taylor Brands, is because you can get digital notifications about everything you need to do. And I feel like this is really handy because you might get this through your state, your Secretary of State, through your email or through mail, but just having everything in one place is really important to me. And you get the option to get notified about everything. And then once you've completed the questionnaire, you're going to be presented with all of the pricing plans and different pricing options. So if you want to just form an LLC, you can choose the light plan that has the LLC formation, business coaching program, invoicing and bookkeeping, free trial for 30 days, which highly recommend. Or you can get the essential or elite plan. So these ones are yearly plans on top of the state fee, the fee that's required to file the article of organization. And it just has some bonus features that the light plan doesn't include. So it's just another opportunity to clarify which plan is best for you and what you need. You still have to pay the state fee. For Texas, this fee is $300. So as you can see here, there's a state fee required for each of these plans. Taylor Brands just does these additional services on top of the state fee. So once you've selected the pricing plan that works best for you, you can go to the dashboard, which is the fun part. To your left, you have all of the different services that Taylor Brands does. It's a wonderland for businesses, okay? You have your EIN, you have your tax and accounting, you have business insurance, banking, legal documents, domain name, logos. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk quickly about the articles of organization. This is ultimately the biggest part, which is like filing your LLC, like the actual documentation of you filing it. So let's go into LLC. This is exactly where you would set up your articles of organization. You can track the status. You can do everything through this page. All of the previous things are things you need around it or with it, but let's talk about the actual documentation that you need to turn into your government to officially form your LLC. I did mine through my Secretary of State's website, but again, Taylor Brands makes this process super seamless for you. You could essentially just continue the application you already started with your questionnaire and seamlessly set it up that way, whether it's expedited, whether it's not, or you can do it through your Secretary of State, which might be a little bit more manual. They have templates that you can use and fill out and mail, or like Texas's website, you can use their website to actually fill in this information and do it digitally. So this article of organization is a one-time document and fee charged by your state. That's exactly how much you pay for filing this specific document. And this is what's required to form your business legal entity. But when you're filing your article of organization, you need to have your LLC name, you need to have your LLC address. That's basically going to be the registered agent's address. You probably need to have an idea of the management structure. Is it going to be member managed? Is it going to be manager managed? Member managed is when you or your partner runs the daily operations of the business, and manager managed is when you employ someone else to do it for you. You're going to need a registered agent that corresponds with that address. You're going to need to know your LLC purpose. Then you might need member information such as the names and addresses of each individual. Once you're approved, which is what that 2-week process entails, you'll receive a state certificate of organization proving your LLC's like legal existence. This is one where you're ready to go and start business, but also this is the beginning of you being required to pay certain taxes or fees depending on your business type. So now that we've gone through all the legal steps, let's get into some more of the fun things that I think every new entrepreneur should have when they're setting up their business. As you can see on the platform, there are so many different options you can choose. The other important place to reserve your name is in your domain. So like how filing your LLC reserves it in your state within your government, reserving your domain reserves it on the World Wide Web. And you want to make sure that you have access to this and you choose this very early on because it only gets harder. And once you own this domain, you own it, you pay for it yearly and it's yours and no one else has it. And Taylor Brands offers that service here. There's plenty of other websites that do this, but again, having it all in one place is super handy because what you'll find as a business owner is that you're going to start having platforms and accounts on every website under the sun, and it just gets harder and harder to track. Let's do one for Thriving Business. I'm essentially going to go into here and type in Thriving Business and see if the name is taken, but I'll actually do it as one word because that's how websites are. So I just press search. Okay, so the best match was thrivingbus.com. because it looks like not a lot of them are available. And that's also something you want to do maybe prior to even reserving your LLC, because you can see if your website is going to match the name, or you can decide to change the name. I think the best one would be Thriving Business Today, because I think that actually sounds like quite cute and fun. So I can press select here and it gives me the option to pay and reserve. I'm actually quite embarrassed to admit that I still don't have like a proper business email. I'm still operating under like a Gmail. And that is the number one thing that I'm planning on changing this year, is getting my business email set. This is like when you have at thrivingbusiness.com or at sanraison.com. And it's actually super easy through Taylor Brands. You can go to your dashboard, press business email. You can get your business mailbox set up through here. They work with Google to set up your Google workspace that's attached to your business email name. And I think it makes it really smooth. Business banking. Oh my gosh. The most confusing thing you can do is completely just mix your business and your personal expenses and transactions together. So getting them separate is really key. I got a separate business bank account. I can have credit cards, debit cards, any transactions that are business related to just go towards that bank account. And Taylor Brands has the option for you to set this up. It looks like they partnered with Bank of America to have an option for you to set up your business bank account. So once you get your EIN through the official filing, you can use that and set up your business bank account, because that's what all banks are going to ask you for, is where is your EIN, so we can actually officially set this up. One thing I want to know as a new business owner is take advantage of these new card or bank account deals. A lot of them will give you money for just setting up your business bank account, whether it's $200, $300. I think I got $300 once I spent a certain amount of money in that account. And it looks like they have a deal here with Bank of America that you can earn a bonus of $100 to $500 by setting up a certain bank account. So, and the last thing you can do to make your business feel and look a little bit more legitimate is having a business logo. While you may not need to have the whole branding kit, which I think could take a lot of time and a lot of decision making that kind of slows entrepreneurs down, I think having a logo at least can make you look a little bit more legitimate when you're making your website, when you're making your social media. Just having something that you can differentiate yourself from others and people recognize it as a business. Through Taylor Brands, you can get a really good idea of what you want your logo to look like, or just get ideas. I think it's really good for sparking inspiration. So when we go to the logo section, you get presented with this page where the instructions are super simple. So you just enter the name, tell them about your dream brand, and then they customize it for you. Like, it literally happens in minutes. It's crazy. Thriving business. And we can add a tagline, helping you thrive in all things business. So here, just ask some more questions to get to know the business. For the sake of this being like a marketing company that helps other businesses thrive, let's choose services, and then we can describe it more. We'll do the industry as marketing, and we can choose whether it's icon based, name based, or initial based. I'm kind of interested what the name based one would be, so let's do that. Ooh, and then it asks us to choose 3 styles. It's designing our logo. It's creating our business cards, planning our social. Ooh. Oh my God, it's literally like a suite of everything. It creates websites, merch. This is really like fun to visualize, especially in the beginning. I'm kind of obsessed with the upside down T. Maybe it's like thriving in all areas of the market. You get it? This is really fun. And just like that, you can set up your LLC. Like, it literally can be that simple. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask, drop them in the comments. And down below, you can also find the link to start this entire process. I'm really looking forward to all the new entrepreneurs that are springing up this year. So I can't wait for you and your thriving business. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.